We're going to have a good weekend, guys. We're going to have a good weekend.
We're back with the Fox News alert. We're just learning the FBI agents have raided the Maryland home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton. It happened at 7 a.m. this morning.
Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boy. Yo, John Bolton was the biggest traitor President Trump had during his first term. President Trump trusted this man. He put him as one of his top national security advisors. This man, he betrayed Trump. He betrayed the Republican Party. He betrayed America. The minute President Trump realized he was a traitor, President Trump said,
"You're fired. Get out of here. You're fired."
"You are fired." Since that day, John Bolton became the biggest contributor of CNN.
What?
Imagine, guys, CNN. You used to be Trump's security advisor. The minute you are fired, where do you go? To CNN, talking BS about President Trump. And then he wrote a book called The Room Where It All Happened. What?
Shortly after the raid began, FBI Director Kash Patel posting on X, quote, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission."
David Spunt joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, David.
Hey, guys, not much we can say at this point, but information will continue to develop. As you mentioned, about 7 o'clock this morning, FBI agents raided Ambassador Bolton's home. Notable, we're being told by two government sources that they are looking for classified documents as part of a potential leak investigation. We're told that Ambassador Bolton is not in custody. He's not under arrest.
Yet. He's not in custody yet. Because one thing the American people voted for President Trump because the American people want to see accountability. The American people want to see the people that betrayed this country. They want to see, we want to see them in a orange jumpsuit. Now we're starting with John Bolton, but don't worry, we're going to get to Obama. We're going to get to Hillary Clinton. Of course. We're gonna get to the Biden administration. Of course, Kamala Harris opened the border. That is treason. We're gonna get to all of them.
But it is notable they are at his Maryland home right now. We don't know how many agents are there. We're waiting to get a picture of the scene coming in right now. But we're told Ambassador Bolton, who was just on TV on another network a couple days ago talking about the Russia-Putin-Trump summit, is now under FBI investigation. Now, I want to be clear. These are long, and we're looking at some live photographs right now in Bethesda. That's clearly the road where Ambassador Bolton lives. And you can see some police cars outside there. But, you know, this is going to be a long process. We saw the raid of former Trump advisor Roger Stone's home down in Florida several years ago. Eventually, he went to trial. We saw famously in August of 2022, exactly 3 years ago, a little bit more than 3 years ago, the raid on Mar-a-Lago. That still has the FBI in hot water. That's a little bit of a different situation as it was a former president, but it deals with classified documents.
One thing I know, actions have consequences. When Biden was in power, Biden used the DOJ against everybody, not only against President Trump. Biden even used the DOJ against his own party, Eric Adams, and so on. And now, we are finding out they were dirty. What do you think is going to happen?
So I did not realize this, but there was a probe going on when President Trump was in office last time because John Bolton wrote a book and he violated his NDA, the president said, in doing it. And he felt as though there were classified information in that book. The probe dropped when Joe Biden became president. So is this picking up where that left off, David?
It's possible. I don't know with 100% certainty, but it is notable, guys, that John Bolton, Ambassador Bolton's security clearances were stripped earlier this year by President Trump.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. After this guy got fired, he wrote a book putting a bunch of classified information in that book so he could make millions of dollars. And then every night you see him on CNN talking bad about Trump, talking about Russia, talking about strategies Trump is using to get to an agreement, to get to the negotiation table. This man was spilling everything. That's why I call them traitors. Traitors.
Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, took that security clearance away. They had concerns. The administration had concerns about Ambassador Bolton still being able to access some of these documents and have some of those security clearances. It's also notable that John Bolton had a security detail as well. Because of the threats from Iran on his life, that security detail, that government federal paid security detail, was also taken away by President Trump. So Bolton was to have to get some private security. So we're looking outside his home right now in Bethesda, Maryland. We're told that Ambassador Bolton's being cooperative. He's not under arrest, not in custody at this point. But still notable, 7 o'clock on a Friday morning, that the FBI all of a sudden is knocking on the door of John Bolton's home. And I also will say it's important that, this is not just the FBI able to do this. A judge has to sign off on this. There are other layers involved here. It's not just the FBI says, let's go to John Bolton's house tomorrow morning and see if he has any classified documents. There are certainly more procedures in there. A judge and others would have had to sign off on this, as well as people at the Justice Department, presumably Attorney General Pam Bondi. No comment right now, though, from the Justice Department. No comment from the FBI as well.
For too long, we see people betraying this nation, making millions of dollars, and then they continue to live their lives.
This started 40 minutes ago, and so agents are still, we believe, in the house right now going through things?
That's what we're told. Yes, absolutely. They're going through things. It's not clear if he's still on scene, if he's in the house while this is happening. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes the subject who owns the home or owns the property is not there. We know during the raid at Mar-a-Lago, President Trump was not even there at all. It was the summer, and he doesn't live at Mar-a-Lago in the summer. So it's not clear if Ambassador Bolton was even home. We're working to find that out. But we know that he was just this is his primary residence. This is where he lives. He does TV appearances. He's still out and about. So it's unclear exactly where he is right now, but I'm just told he's not in custody. This deals with classified records, potential classified records, and, at which point we'll see down the line if a grand jury feels there is enough evidence for charges. But this is really the first step in what could be a long process, because they have to bring, first of all, agents have to sift through this information, go through all of this information. That could take weeks, that could take months. Then they present that information to a grand jury. A grand jury would say we have what's called a true bill, which means an indictment, and then the court proceedings happen. So I don't want to get over my skis and predict that that's going to happen. May not happen, but it's still notable that this is going on right now.
By the way, John Bolton does not do TV appearances. John Bolton does CNN appearances.
In these raids, the New York Post is reporting that they busted into his home in Bethesda, Maryland. In a raid, normally, do they have, how do they get in the house? Would they ring the doorbell first and Bolton would come to the door?
Correct. Yeah, that's usually what it is. I mean, they would ring the doorbell. I mean, that's the proper way that agents usually handle these situations. There's usually kind of a de-escalation of these things before tensions rise. And sometimes if they need to bust through the door. I've not confirmed that independently that they busted through the door. I'm not sure if it was any sort of ramrod or anything like that, so I don't want to get ahead of it. But that is possible. Yes, they will if they feel that they have probable cause to get inside and need to get inside. I will note we've not heard from Ambassador Bolton yet. I'm sure we will through his attorney or possibly himself. So it's something we're going to watch and see what he has to say. But as of now, this is still going on, 42 minutes or about 45 minutes or so into this on a Friday morning in a busy news cycle here in Washington, D.C.
This is good news, guys. Come on now. But the fascinating thing right now is watching CNN trying to defend John Bolton.
We learned just moments ago, according to a source, that the FBI conducted a court-authorized search at the home of John Bolton as part of a national security investigation. John Bolton, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, former national security advisor under the first Trump administration, a frequent critic of late of President Trump, a frequent vocal critic of President Trump, and President Trump has been a frequent vocal critic of John Bolton. Lots of bad blood between these two men.
You see how they already politicize it? John Bolton is a frequent critic of President Trump. President Trump is a frequent critic of John, but they already politicize it, making it seem, oh, it's Trump that's after John Bolton. And this is what those fake news media, that's what they do best. Before they tell you what's happening, and for you to come to your own conclusion, they try to make up your mind.
We are looking at these pictures of John Bolton's home in Maryland being searched by the FBI, or FBI officials going to his door to conduct a search. And we have confirmed that the FBI conducted that court-authorized search, meaning that they would have gone to a court as part of a very likely criminal probe. Our understanding is this part of a national security investigation. Exactly what that would be and what sort of reasoning the Justice Department and the FBI would give the court for conducting that national security search, still a huge question here. But this is a person that Donald Trump has been very much on the outs with since he wrote a book about his service in the first Trump administration, when John Bolton was the national security advisor to President Donald Trump. At that time, Trump was very unhappy that Bolton was talking about things that Trump did that made Trump look very bad publicly, ways that Trump himself handled other foreign leaders, national security, classified issues. And Trump at that time, back in 2020, was saying that John Bolton should face criminal problems for allegedly publishing classified information. Trump was saying that any conversation with him was classified, and thus none of it should have been able to be revealed in John Bolton's book. That then led to a grand jury investigation of John Bolton in the District of Columbia's federal court. It resulted in no charges. So what this is there a link to that?
No charges, because President Biden became in power, and Biden protected John Bolton because John Bolton was doing the dirty work for the Democratic Party. That's why every night he was invited to CNN.
This is an official that we know has a lot of classified information over his long tenured service in government. So John Bolton now being under investigation again after not being in government for several years, we are going to have a lot of questions going forward. I've reached out to John Bolton's attorney, who handled his issues through the first grand jury investigation, and CNN reached Bolton directly. This morning, Bolton said he was unaware of this FBI activity and was looking into it further.
This morning when I woke up, I was drinking my coffee, I was drinking my water, trying to stay dehydrated. You get my point. And then I saw the news. I said, "How God bless America. God is great. God is the greatest." Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as I continue to create more and better content, call out all the nonsense from the Democratic Party, and promoting conservative values, because that's what made America the great country that America is. And in order to remain this great country, we must uphold and promote those conservative values, law and order, be tough on crime, and so on. Anyway, guys, again, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're spending a nice weekend with this amazing news. And you guys stay safe, of course, stay blessed. I'll see you in the next video.